You already know the deal. I have entirely too much makeup in my collection and not enough of it is being used. So today I'm building my second monthly makeup bag because round one was entirely successful. If you've seen the first video in the series, welcome back. But if you haven't, or this is your first time watching me ever, welcome to Making It Up, where a former makeup shopaholic is trying to condense and curate her makeup collection with products that she already owns instead of going out and buying more and more and more. I am quite frankly tired of the overconsumption tendencies in the beauty space, beauty community, whatever. It's fun, but it gets to a point. So if you're tired of that as well, this might just be the video for you. Let's build my monthly makeup bag together, shall we? Let's go over the rules quickly for those of you who are new here. I am not on a shopping ban. Like, if I want to buy beauty, I can. The point is I really don't want to add more products to my already overflowing collection, so that is why I do this, but I'm not on a strict shopping ban. The idea of this is for me to grab 1 to 3 products per category from my makeup collection. It's mainly going to be 2 products. It depends on the category, but for the most part it's going to be 2 products and building my makeup bag with it. So having a makeup bag that I'm going to be using for the whole month. These are products that maybe I've neglected or just things that I want to be using for the whole month basically. I'm not super strict about it. If I want to grab something else from my collection, say it's a special occasion and I really need like my go-to foundation that I don't use all the time, I can totally go ahead and do that. It's flexible. These are just the rules that are, you know, giving me like a guideline and helping me get the most use out of products that I have neglected. So if you want to go ahead and follow along and try this experiment for yourself and actually use what you already own in your makeup collection, these are the rules. Nothing strict, just a little framework for you to follow in case you want to. Now, the first step to building my monthly makeup bag is shopping my stash, arguably the most fun, because this is where I go into my collection and just grab some products that I want to use. Most of the times I rediscover things that I did not remember that I owned. And I will do my best to not repeat products that I already used in last month's bag. This is a new powder in my collection and I really like it, the Infallible Blurfection by L'Oreal. And I haven't used it enough, so I think I'm gonna bust it out this time around. Even though it's new, like, yeah, I want to rediscover things, but got this like 2 months ago and I haven't used it as much as I want to use it because I don't do my makeup all the time, so. I forgot this existed. I'm bringing this on. Oh, it's a wild card. I'm probably not going to use it all the time. This is a Lila BB Sunkissed bronzer. This doesn't exist anymore, I don't think. But this was everything like 10 years ago. I forgot I had this completely. Completely. This is a cherished product. Of course I'm adding it. Of course I'm adding it. I think I'm adding a wild card in the lip category and adding something bold. I think this is a discontinued product, but I really enjoy this formula and we'll see. Is it still good to use? We'll see. We'll try it out. We'll try it out. Okay, I have picked out everything and now it is time to actually fill this. I already filled it as I was picking it out, but I just dumped everything on the floor right now so that I can show you and we can fill this baby up. I said in my last one that I wanted a cuter makeup bag. This is like a Snoopy Christmas makeup bag or like toiletry bag from Vera Bradley. I already have this one and just this time around everything fit in here. I think it's really cute. I might still need to be on the hunt for a cuter one, but I really like this. Like, it's cute, right? So let's get started with primers. I'm not the biggest primer girl. I don't use a primer every single day, but sometimes, you know, I want something more oil controlling or something more glowy and hydrating. I will go for primer. So I wanted to have both options. For my smoothing oil control priming, I'm using the Milani Conceal and Perfect Blur Out Smoothing Primer. This is really good, and this just blurs. It is slightly like silicone-y, but I really like it because it really goes in and blurs my pores to perfection. And you know, sometimes you need that. Sometimes even when I'm not wearing any makeup, I don't want to look super dewy, and I'll go in with this. So it's a great one. And then I rediscovered this like last week when I was filming my Get Ready With Me. I grabbed this for some reason. I haven't used it before a lot, and I really enjoyed it. This is the Bloom Effects Tulip Dewdrops. This isn't necessarily like a primer, but it is like a moisturizing, glowy situation without being too dewy, too moisturizing. And it does have a bit of a stick to it, which is why I thought it would be perfect as a primer. So it's not too intense, but it gives me exactly what I need. Now let's go for a base. As you guys know, if you watched my other videos, I'm more of a natural girly, so I'm staying away from foundations for the most part. I use a foundation every once in a blue moon. Most of the time I'm using like a skin tint, tinted moisturizer situation. For this month, I am going again with something more hydrating and very sheer to something that is a little bit more coverage, like light to medium coverage and blurs. For my blurring beauty, I am going with the Fenty Beauty Ease Drop Blurring Smooth Tint Stick. I don't know if this exists still. Everything will be linked down below, but if this still exists, you guys should try it out if you haven't. It is one of my favorite stick products because it gives me light to medium coverage. You can really build it up, and it blurs and smooths without being too matte, which is something that, you know, there's a time and a place for that, but for every day I want something a little more satin, more natural. The shade match is great for me, and it's so easy to blend and like put it all over. I really like this, and I haven't worn it in so long. And then I picked the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Serum Skin Tint. This hydrates, smooths, and corrects. This basically is a tinted moisturizer that is very, very moisturizing, and well, it's a serum tint, but it is very nice to even out the skin. Not gonna lie, this is a little too dewy for me. This is very dewy, and I'm someone who doesn't love the dew, but I want to use it because I haven't used it all that much. I took it with me last year in the winter when I went to Italy because I was like, it's gonna be freezing cold. My skin will be able to tolerate this. So maybe now is not the perfect time for it, but I really just want to get use out of it because it is very nice. The shade match is very good too. So we'll see. This is very, very hydrating, polar opposite from the other one, but it is perfect for every day. And like, you can even blend it with your fingers. Like, it is very, very nice, but not particularly my favorite product, which is why I want to get some use out of it and see if I really need it in my collection. For concealer, I'm kind of keeping the same concept. One more natural everyday concealer and one that can give me a little bit more coverage and that is a little bit more matte, like satin matte. For my natural concealer, I'm using the NYX Bare With Me Concealer Serum. This is in the shade Vanilla, I believe. Yes, Vanilla. I really like this concealer. It is very nice. I know people have used this as an all-over foundation product. I haven't used it in so long. And don't be fooled, like, you can get really good coverage out of this. So I'm mainly going to be using it for the daily, something a little more natural, if you will, because it blends very well all over. But you can get it to be more full coverage, and it isn't super heavy under the eyes or super dewy, but it definitely skews more hydrating. And then for my more self-setting concealer, I'm using the Illusionist Skin Focus Concealer by About Face. What a concealer. I freaking love this concealer so much. I have the shade L2 Neutral. It is self-setting, so it is going to be more satin, not necessarily satin matte, but a little more satin under the eyes, and it doesn't go anywhere, and it's not dewy at all. You know, on those days when I want to be a little more matte or when I want some more coverage, I also believe these two go well together. Like, I'm not using them together all the time, but I do feel like if I wanted to mix the two, I would have no problem whatsoever. So they make a good pair, but I can also use them individually. Again, for my powders, because I do love to powder, I do love to set, I'm keeping the same concept as the other base products, something a little lighter, more everyday, and then something more intense intense blurring. For my everyday powder, I'm using my Kosas Cloud Set in the shade Breezy. You guys, this has been used and abused. There was a time when I was using this every single day, and how cool would it be if I used it this month and I finished it? I used to love this, and then I forgot about it completely because this is more of a finishing powder. It's not a setting powder, so this is perfect for those days when I'm wearing very minimal makeup and I just want to, you know, blot the oil but not remove the dimension on my face. And I haven't used it in months, so it was time to rediscover it. And then for something more blurring, more intense, I recently got the L'Oreal Infallible Blurfection up to 24 hours blurring, brightening, loose setting powder. I got it at the drugstore like a few months ago. I've been using it a bit and I just want to keep using it because I'm really enjoying it. I am wearing it today and I think it gives me a really nice blurring effect without being too much, but it does set. This sets. Now let's move on to some cheek products, starting with bronzer slash contour. I am a deep winter. If you've been here before, you know this. So bronzer is not my best friend. I usually use more contour shades to bronze because everything goes warmer on me. So I tend to stay away from bronzers, but I am, you know, I do have a full collection of them and I do want to use them up or like really see if I need them in my collection or declutter them. I have 3 products here, but let me explain why. Firstly, I have the e.l.f. Bronze and Contour in the shade Fair. This is the Camo Liquid Bronzer and Contour. So good. This shade is perfect for me. It is cool tone on me. It looks very natural. It doesn't look like too much of a gray shadow and I love it. It is a cream. It doesn't set completely, but I don't mind it because it blends out very well. It looks very natural, but I can also like really pile it on and it can look a little more intense. And I can also use this as a base and use something else on top of it. So it's just a perfectly versatile product. And then I have 2 powders, starting with the Hoola Bronzer by Benefit. This is a classic. And what I am noticing now is this is more of a ready bronzer. So maybe this will not be so ugly on me. I used to use it all the time and then I kind of stopped using bronzers, but this is a classic. It's really nice. It still smells good because I rebought this. It's not my original. So we'll see how it goes because I'm not the greatest bronzer girl now, but I do think this could be like a good option because it is a little more red instead of like orangey. And then I rediscovered something that I had forgotten that existed in my life, and that is the Lila B Sunkissed Bronzer. This is a pebble bronzer that was all the rage 10 years ago. Lila B is no more. I don't think it exists anymore. And I kept this simply because the nostalgia. 2-tone bronzer. It is a little shimmery. It's not my favorite product by any means, but I do want to use it. I want to experiment with it and I want to reminisce, even if it's not the most flattering color on me, even if I don't love a shimmery bronzer. Wow, it doesn't smell bad. For anyone wondering, it's old, but it doesn't smell bad because I didn't buy it 10 years ago. I bought it, I don't know when. It's been years, but it's not been 10 years. So I wanted to bring it out and just try it out and use it, okay? Sue me. So this is a wild card, but I couldn't not include it, you know? I know I'm not gonna be using it every single day. That's why I picked this one and the other 2, but I couldn't resist. For blush, I had a hard time. Again, I have a lot of blushes and a lot of them are peachy and warm because I used to love a peachy and warm blush. And unfortunately, those are not colors that suit me. And once I learned that, like I cannot go back. So it was really hard for me to choose because I'm like, there are products that I really love and I love the formulas, but I know they're not gonna look great on me. So it was tough, but again, I got a cream and a powder so that I can layer them or use them by themselves. For my cream slash liquid, I grabbed this tiny cloud paint in the shade Puff. And this used to be more baby pink and now it's a little more peachy, which ugh. But you know what? I want to use it. It is small. I got this and another shade in like a Christmas value set. I already know I love this formula. I absolutely love it. It's perfect for days when I want something more natural, for days when I want to layer. It's just a great formula. Just the color makes me a little nervous, but we'll play, we'll experiment. It's fine. And then I went for a safe choice to counteract the craziness of the Glossier one, and I grabbed the Tower 28 Get Set Samo Spritzer blush. This is a blurring blush and I really like it. It was gifted to me by Tower 28 and I enjoy it a lot. This is like a rosy mauve, so it goes well with my skin tone. I don't know how well they're gonna pair together, but I like this. I like the formula. I like the color. It's easy for me. And you know, it's also blurring. So I love a blurry look. So these are the 2. We'll see how it goes. Maybe a declutter is in my future so that I can only keep blushes that actually suit me. But for now, we'll experiment, okay? It's makeup, it's supposed to be fun. Yeah, it's whatever. Now for highlighter, as we know, I'm not a big highlighter girl. I don't use highlighter ever, but I still want to include the category. I still want to, because I have highlighters and I want to get some use out of them. So I grabbed two that are more on like the natural side of things, and I haven't used both of these in so long. Firstly, again, don't know if this even exists anymore. This is the Super Shock Cheek in Lunch Money by ColourPop. It's old, is all I'm gonna say. This is old. Again, doesn't smell bad, it hasn't gone dry, and it looks very intense, but it is not super intense once it's on. And I really, really enjoy this formula. I haven't used it in years. So again, wanted to bring it out, wanted to see if I still love it or if it's something that I need to, boot. I'm very excited to use it, and also very excited to use my Hollywood Flawless filter. I have the shade medium. It's probably a little dark for me, but I feel like I can use this under my base for like a more natural highlight. I used to use this all over my skin as a base years ago when this first came out. Whoa, I loved it. I went through an entire bottle of this, and then this has just been sitting in my collection for so long. So wanted to bring it out. I feel like I'm gonna get more use out of this one because it is more natural looking, and it is a beautiful, beautiful product, I will say. And then for freckles, I'm going to be repeating these two products from last video because these are my favorite freckle products and they're kind of the only ones that I own. So I'm using the Tarte Go with the Faux in medium. This is a freckle stamp. It's amazing. And then I'm gonna use my Freck XL. Again, amazing. I like to use this one for more individual placement and to retrace some of my moles. And I like to use this one all over my nose because it gives me like scattered freckles. It makes it super easy. So both of these are repeats, and they're gonna continue being repeats because I don't really own any others and they're great products. So now let's move on to eyes, shall we? Starting with my eyebrows, I decided to go for one product that fills them and two products that set. So I decided to go with the Build-A-Brow by Maybelline. This is the shade, I don't know the shade. Ash Brown. This is the shade Ash Brown, and I really love it. It comes with a gel that I don't really use, but I really love this pen. It deposits color very evenly, very easy to do hair-like strokes. It doesn't stain your skin immediately. You have a bit of wiggle room to play with it and blend it out. After a while, it sets, it stays on your brows all day long, so this is a great contender. I really love it, and the shade works very well with my brow hair, and it matches my head hair. Anyways, this is what I'm gonna be using to fill in my brows whenever I do. And then I grabbed a clear brow gel and a tinted brow gel. The tinted brow gel is, I think, my last repeat from last bag. This is the Air Perez Argan Brow Hero in the shade Perfect. This formulation has really good ingredients for the brows, and whenever I'm doing something very natural, I'm staying home and I just want a little something to define the brows, I'll be using this so that my brow hairs are nourished and they don't become brittle and fall off with like a regular, cosmetic brow gel. So I'm gonna be using this mostly on natural days, and this is probably gonna be a repeat again and again because I want to take care of my brow hairs. But if I'm using, if I'm doing more makeup and I'm using this to like fill in the brows and I want a little something more defined, I'm going in with the Kosas Airbrow Clear Lifting Treatment Gel. This is a clear brow gel. Again, it also has supposed to have like good ingredients for your brows. I don't know, but I really like this. I got this as a birthday gift from Sephora. It isn't the full size, but I still like it a lot, and I think it would make a great pair with this. So it's clear, it's nice, it does what it's supposed to do. For an eye primer, I'm only using one eye primer because I don't need more, and I'm using the About Face Smoothing Shadow Fix. It's perfect for cream shadows and powder shadows, so I feel like it's perfect for everything that I want to put on my eyes, and I love it. I really do, especially because I love About Face shadows, and this is kind of made to work with them. So this is one of my favorites. Now for eyeshadow is where things get a little crazy because I have a lot of options and I want to use as much as I can. And I want to play with eyeshadow. I haven't been playing with eyeshadow all that much. So it's a goal of mine to like use my shadows, play more with makeup, So one of the eyeshadow products that I picked is a palette. I only chose one palette this time, and this is a Morphe Cyberchrome eyeshadow palette. And it is cool tone. Cool tones look best on me as a deep winter. I love this so much. 3 mattes, one like metallic-y shimmer, and then 2 shadows you can use wet or dry. They're more like glittery loose, and I love them because the mattes are so perfect for every day if you are a deep winter. They look intimidating, but honestly they're not. They're very easy to use, and the formula of all of these is very nice. I love the color palette, and I think it's a color palette that suits me, so I'm gonna be more inclined to reach for it, you know? I feel like if I have only a warm tone palette and I'm like, I wanna use it, I never end up actually using it. So went for a cool tone one this time. And of course I went for some single shadows as well because I cannot help myself, I'm sorry, but there is a bit of variety and there is like cohesiveness with the palette with this 3 products. So firstly, my About Face Matte Fluid Eye Paint in the shade Smell Before Rain. I've gone through an entire tube of this because it's so good. It's my perfect eyeshadow. I'm actually wearing it today. The perfect like cool tone brown that I can just apply all over my eyes, and it looks like there's a little something there, but it didn't do much, you know? This is probably my favorite eyeshadow of the last few years. And then I have something more fun. This is the RMK eyeshadow something. I'm gonna link it below. I got this in Japan, but it is like a metallic taupey purple. It's so beautiful, and I think it pairs very well with the palette as well. I've used it like once or twice, I think, since I bought it last year. Want to get more use out of it. I think this color is so beautiful, and it suits me very well. So, you know, want to test this out a little more, give it more of a chance. And lastly, another newer product. I saw these at Ulta, and I was very intrigued. This is the ColourPop Jelly Much Gel Eyeshadow Stick in the shade Real Talk. Reminded me of the Tower 28 ones that I never tried because I had too many shadows already and people weren't giving them like the best reviews. This is like a pinky, silvery blue, sheer glittery kind of shadow stick, and I really like it. It's cooling. I have used it once or twice before and I think it's very nice. I want to use it more. I think it goes again very well with the palette that I picked, but also perfect for just like a glittery moment on the lids by itself. So want to experiment with it a little more. Bought it again a few months ago and I haven't used it much, so we'll see how it goes. For eyeliner, I'm keeping it very simple this time around. I'm only doing a black and a brown in the same formula. These are the Can Make Creamy Touch liners in the shade 1 and the shade 3, a black and a brown. Love these so much. They're perfect for the waterline and the tight line. They stay put. They're also perfect to do wings. They're perfect for everything because they're so small and precise. They do have a very short amount of time where you can actually play with them. After like a few seconds, they do set. They go with all the eyeshadows and I can also use them by themselves. So keeping it very simple, but I feel like a black and a brown is truly all you need. And then for mascara, I'm using the same philosophy as with my base, something a little more natural, something a little more wow and like vavoom. For the natural mascara, I'm using the e.l.f. Lash and Roll. This is in the shade Black. This is, I believe, a dupe for a Benefit mascara, but it is very nice and very natural. It just curls the lashes and like separates them. One coat is enough for me. I really enjoy it and I haven't used it in a while. And then the Hourglass Unlocked Instant Extensions mascara for something a little more intense, something a little more volumizing, blacker, something, you know, that gives my lashes a bit more of a wide-eyed, spread out look. Really like this, love the wand, and I like how easy it is to remove. I believe it is a tubing mascara, so it's easy to remove, but also gives me more volume, more length for when I want that. So these two just make a good pair because I can pick and choose depending on my mood. Last but not least, let's move on to the lips. This is again a very hard category for me because I do have a lot of lip products, but I don't use most of them. I mainly stick to the products that I use all the time, so it's hard for me to, you know, keep them in rotation and use something different all the time. For lip liners, I'm using one that's a stain and one that is more of a normal formula. For the stain, I am using the e.l.f. Main Stain Lip Marker in the shade Rose Macaron. I bought a few of these a while ago, again, a few months ago at this point. The last time I was in the US, I did pick up, you know, a few things to try, and I'm really loving these. I got 3 shades, but I think this is my favorite one. It is very long lasting and I think it goes very well with the other products that I chose for my lips. So this is a great one. And on the days when I want something a little more chill, something that gives me a bit more of a contoured look, I am recurring to the Versed Lip Frame Defining Lip Liner in the shade Match. This is more like a cooler toned pinky contour shade and it is beautiful. I love this formula. I love the shape of it because it gives you more of like a blurred lip look, but it is smaller than others, so it is more precise. It gives you enough blur and precision at the same time, and obviously this is not going to be super long lasting, but I deeply enjoy it as well. So polar opposites that are going to serve different purposes at different times in my makeup journey, in my makeup bag. if you will. For lipsticks, I chose two similar formulas. They're balm formulas or something more sheer than a regular lipstick because I don't use a regular lipstick every single day. So I was like, why am I forcing myself? I'll, again, need to reevaluate my entire collection of lipsticks, but we're going for what I used this month, okay? Because why not? I'm using the Queen Lucia Skincare Supercharged Tinted Hydro Balm in the shade Vaude-Vine. I love this so much. It is kind of like a reddy burgundy-ish color, and it is not super intense, so it's not what you see on the bullet. It is more sheer, and I use this a lot. It's always in my purse. It smells really good. I really enjoy it. It's very comfortable, and it gives me just enough tint. If I want something else that is going to be a little more long-lasting, I'm going to go with the Romand Glasting Melting Balm in the shade Mauve Whip. This is 07 Mauve Whip. This is a little more mauvey, more purpley than the other one, so they might look very similar, but they are slightly different. This I love because it is more of a stain. It is a balm, it is very comfortable, but it does last a bit longer on your lips. I don't love to swipe this because it is a lot more pigmented than the other one. So I kind of just dab it and it gives me enough color. Yeah, these are similar, but not the same. So I think they're gonna, you know, be good picks for this month, and they go with everything else because they're natural enough, simply because they're not super pigmented. And again, I wanted to add a wild card just to see in case I want something bold. I'm gonna be using the Lime Crime plushies in the shade Cherry Soda. I don't know if Lime Crime exists anymore. This product probably doesn't exist, so I just wanted to use it. I can't link it for you guys, but just in case I wanted something bold, just in case I was feeling red one day, let me just play with my makeup, okay? That's basically what this is, just playtime. And then for lip gloss, I went for one shimmery gloss and one non-shimmery gloss. The shimmery gloss is the Lifter Gloss by Maybelline in the shade Topaz. When this came out, it went super viral for being a Fenty Gloss Bomb dupe. I really like it. It is warmer than I want it to be, but I can use it by itself. I can also use it on top of some of my other lip products that I already showed you to make it a little more cool tone. I don't know. I really enjoy this formula and I want to get use out of it. So it's probably going to be easy for me because when it's a gloss, you can just apply it and use it to even moisturize your lips. So, and then something that is a little more, I wouldn't say this is cool tone, but it's more neutral, so it's easier for me. The Finding Ferdinand gloss in the shade Thorn. I really like it. It's pink. It is kind of like on my lips, but better color. It has enough pigment to be used on its own, or you can also use it on top of some other lip products to do a cute lip combo. At the end of last year, I was using it all the freaking time, and then I kind of forgot about it, so wanted to bring it back. And then lastly, last product in the bag is going to be my setting spray. Again, only chose one setting spray because I don't need more than one. I also do not have endless amounts of setting sprays. I'm using the Caliray Surf Proof setting spray. I believe they have changed the packaging of this. This one's pretty old, but I love it. It is a very fine mist. It smells like Malibu Barbie, I do have to say. And it does make your makeup last a lot longer. It doesn't give you too much matteness or too much dewiness. It really is just there to set. I haven't used this all that much. I want to get more use out of it, so it's going in the bag. Okay, so now that the bag is full, it's time for a makeup bag reveal, baby. As I said, this is my Snoopy holiday makeup bag. Everything fit nicely in here, and it is a mess. Same as last time, I feel relieved having something like this because I don't need to decide every single day what I'm gonna do with a whole entire makeup collection full of options that I honestly don't want to use most of the time. So having something like this feels like a relief. I will say again, same as last time, I struggled to pick certain products because of the shades. I know there are certain shades that just don't suit me. And even though I might love a product, I might love a formulation, as I said with the blushes, it was so hard for me to be like, okay, I want to pick this one because of the shade. So a declutter might be in the works soon because I'm noticing a pattern here. I know it's only the second time I've done this, but I just find myself not wanting to reach for those even though I love the formulas, which sucks, but we'll see. But I fear a declutter is imminent in this situation. But that's the beauty of doing like these bags, you know, it really shows me what I like, what I don't like, what I want to gravitate more towards, and products that I'm really like, even though I might like you, I will not use you. So yeah, I think that's why this is very useful, not just to, you know, use your entire collection and really get your money's worth, but also show you where you might have things that you're not gonna ever use. I think because it's my second time doing this, it was a lot easier, which made it more fun. it was like I knew what to expect going in. I was kind of quicker picking and choosing the products that I was gonna use. It was just overall a great time. It was a little bit more limiting because there were certain products that I was like, oh, I want to use you, and then I was like, eh, I already used you last time. But for the most part, it was very easy, it was very fun, and I do feel like I dove deep into my collection this time, and I actually found like hidden gems like that Lila B bronzer. So I urge you, if you feel stuck with your current makeup collection or you feel like you want to buy more things, try this first. Shop your stash, create your own monthly makeup bag or weekly makeup bag, or a makeup bag that you're gonna use for a prolonged period of time, and just trying products that you've been neglecting, maybe that you love or that you're not sure of. And doing this experiment, I think, is gonna give you a lot of answers without having to spend any money. So if you try it out, do let me know. I hope it helps. For now though, my monthly makeup bag and me bid you adieu. Thank you so much for hanging out. I hope you had fun. I hope it was satisfying to watch. And I hope I get to see you right here for my next video. Bye! Mwah.